Everybody wants to get rich and wealthy, and it seems like everyone nowadays has a gimmick. Whether that be dropshipping, crypto, day trading, or funding the next big stock, we see on YouTube and TikTok daily that everybody seems to be raking in millions doing whatever gimmick it is. Then at the end of their video, they tell you that they will share their secrets with you if you buy their course or commit to their subscription. Needless to say, after buying their course or whatever they are selling, you realize that whatever they are teaching isn't helping you rake in millions and you're stuck feeling scammed. Unfortunately for viewers, the main source of income for content creators is selling the course or subscription. The gimmick isn't making them wealthy, it is people buying their course that make them wealthy. In this video, I promise I won't sell you anything or gatekeep any information. This is not financial advice, but in my opinion, this is a surefire way of getting rich and wealthy without fail. I will explain from beginning to end an overview and the formula I follow to grow my net worth. If you follow this formula to a T, the odds will definitely be in your favor to getting rich and wealthy in your lifetime. And before you think I'm clickbaiting you or tricking you, I'm here to tell you that this formula of getting rich and wealthy will not be groundbreaking. Rather, it requires hard work and consistency. Progress will be slow, but you will surely become rich and wealthy over time. As a result, if you follow these simple tricks, it becomes a matter of when and not if you become rich and wealthy. This video by the insufficient summary breaks down simple but not easy ways for you to get rich and wealthy. By following 3 essential steps, it is impossible for you not to get rich in a lifetime. Step number 1. Leftovers in your pocket. The first and most important thing to getting rich and wealthy starts with having leftovers in your pocket. If this step isn't followed, everything else in this video does not matter. Leftovers in your pocket basically means being able to save money and having money left over in your pocket every week, every month, and every year. It may seem simple and obvious, but lots of people, due to a variety of different reasons, are unable to save any money. Having money left over after whatever you make is the number 1 step and the most important step to getting wealthy and growing your net worth. It may seem obvious, but most people do not have any money left over after spending on their lifestyle. Having leftovers in your pocket every week, every month, and every year is how you slowly get richer and richer. Making lots of money by itself does not make you rich and wealthy if you spend all of it. Does making lots of money help? Of course it does, but it only helps if you can have more leftovers in your pocket. For those of you wondering how you can have leftovers in your pocket if you already run a tight budget and aren't frivolously buying everything, there is a simple solution. It is not a get-rich-quick method, but it is a way to guarantee more money ends up in your pocket every month. The solution is to work more. It is not fancy or sexy, but picking up a part-time job and working on the weekends or your free time is the only guarantee that you will have more leftovers in your pocket at the end of the month. One thing to avoid, like the plague when you're trying to have leftovers in your pocket, is debt. For the most part, debt is a killer of wealth, especially bad debt. Bad debt such as credit card debt or car payments is something almost everyone should try and avoid if possible. Giving away interest to banks or whoever lended you money is making them money and costing you more and more over time. There are a few exceptions where debt could be a good financial idea, such as a mortgage or a business loan, but even that could be risky depending on the rate of the loan compared to the return on investment you are getting. At the stage of saving more leftovers in your pocket, staying away from all debt helps keeps your hard-earned cash in your pocket and not the pocket of those you owe money to. After having an understanding of leftovers in your pocket, we can discuss step number 2. Step number 2 is what I like to call risk for separation. Risk for separation can include a few different things, but to me it involves starting some type of business. Now before we discuss what type of business we could start, I want to talk about why I call it risk for separation. In order to start a business, it obviously requires time, and most likely it will require money to start off. There is also no guarantee that this business will work out. That is the risk part. To mitigate the risk, before committing to the risk for separation, you will have to make sure that there are enough leftovers in your pocket to give you a window to attack and build that business. Enough means something different for everybody, but I recommend having enough that you don't have to take on debt to fund your lifestyle or to start and build that business. The window could be any amount of time, but I would recommend at least having 6 months. Anything less and it will be extremely hard for you to build any traction on the business. Now, is starting a business going to lower the leftovers in your pocket? Yes, for a little bit, but as long as you stay out of debt, you can repeat step number 1 of building leftovers in your pocket and step number 2, risk for separation, by building a business over and over until it succeeds. Meaning, if the business fails, rebuild the leftovers in your pocket and try again until one of the businesses you start take off. We want to build a business because there's no earnings limit on a business. There is no job that will pay you an unlimited amount, but a business, whatever profits you earn, you keep. Also, a business is not tied to your time. When you work a job, once you clock out, you stop getting paid. If you own a business, your profits are not tied to your time. It is tied to the amount of paying customers you have. As a result, the earnings potential of the business is much higher than someone working for a salary. This is the separation part. Once the business has paying customers and starts progressing, the idea is it will start generating more and more income for you. Eventually, it will produce more than your employment income, creating separation from worrying if you're going to have leftovers in your pocket this week, this month, or this year. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be a millionaire right away, or that you're going to be the next Jeff Bezos, but what I am saying is over time, you can create a business that will slowly make more and more money, so your income will increase, creating separation from worrying if there's going to be leftovers in your pocket. The key here is not to try to increase your lifestyle as you bring in more money. As I have said previously, it is not about the money you make. It is a lot more about how much you can keep and have leftovers in your pocket. Now you might be wondering, what business should I start? Well, it could be anything. It could be selling something online, or it could be offering a cleaning service. There is no rule on what business it has to be, but I do recommend it being a business that's not capital intensive, meaning it does not require a lot of money to start. That is because we don't want to use debt. If the business does require money to start, this is where the leftovers in our pocket is going to come in handy. It also offers safety. If our business does fail, we only lose what's in our pocket and we don't have to be stuck paying back a loan for a business that has failed. We can immediately go back to step number 1 and build back the leftovers in our pocket. The thing is, chances are, our first business, like many other things we try for the first time, is not going to succeed. It is going to take a few tries, lots of trial and error, but as long as you don't give up and keep putting your best foot forward, chances are one day a business that you started will succeed and start generating income. After the risk for separation and the business starts to pick up steam and make some profits, the next step is to grow the seeds. Step number 3, growing the seeds, means expanding our income and making sure our money is working for us. As we talked about, we don't want to spend all our money we make on our bills and lifestyle. We should always have some leftovers in our pockets, but after our business starts making some money for us, our pockets are going to be a little fuller. Now we can think about using the leftovers in our pockets to grow more money, to grow the seeds through investing. At this step, it is up to you how you want to grow the seeds. Some common ways are investing in real estate, stocks, bonds, or crypto. Another way to grow the seeds is to go all in on your business that you started. If you want to grow the seeds by investing in real estate, stocks, bonds, or crypto, the key here is to find the right appreciating assets for you that will go up in value over time. The return usually takes lots of time to see any meaningful increase, and generally you will need to put lots of money into it before it really moves the needle, which is why I recommend starting a business and using the profits from the business to grow the seeds and not just using the leftovers in your pocket and putting it into appreciating assets. Although the process is slow, growing the seeds are vital to getting richer and wealthier because it is putting your money to work. It is your money working for you while you're not quote-unquote on the clock. I'm not gonna lie to you, even though this method seems easier since you're not doing the work, picking which appreciating asset to invest in is tough. It is also stressful knowing that you can't control the outcomes of these investment vehicles. Returns are affected with how the economy is doing, if interest rates are high or low, and what the market sentiment is regarding the investment vehicle. There is always a chance of losing money, so be careful with every investment opportunity. The theory of growing the seeds after the risk for separation is that since we are using the leftovers in our pockets from the business income to invest, if we do lose some money, the business will make back the losses. However, losing money is never ideal. So when it is time to grow the seeds, take your time, do your research on the investment vehicle, or even consult a professional. Don't feel pressure to do anything until you're comfortable. There is nothing wrong with having lots of leftovers in your pocket. There are worse things in the world. The second option to growing the seeds is to invest the money back into the business you started. Using the business profits from the leftovers in your pocket as leverage, we can invest those profits back into the business in hopes that it will bring in even more profits in the future. Usually there are 3 main ways business owners invest into their own company. They are hiring staff, buying better equipment, or hiring another company for their expertise. Hiring staff is a great leverage for a business because it allows the day-to-day operations to run without you being involved in every task. Your employees can run the operations for you while you look for other sales or improve the business system to generate more profits in the future. Buying better equipment could also be an area to grow the seeds. When we started the business, we didn't go into debt. We used whatever was in the leftovers of our pocket. If we use the business profits to reinvest into better equipment, it could help get the job done quicker or better, leading to more sales and customers in the future. Hiring a company for their expertise is another way to grow the seeds because you can buy their expertise to help grow your business. This could be an advertising agency to help create ads to drive traffic for your business to generate more sales, or it could be a website designer so your company has an online presence. Where and how you choose to invest depends on your business and your preference, but most business owners mostly look for the greatest return on their investment, meaning they are looking to commit to small investments that could lead to great returns and profits for them. The point of growing the seeds, whether through vehicles such as stocks, bonds, real estate, or crypto, or reinvesting into our own business, is so our money starts working for us to generate more money. Therefore, we are looking for a rate of return for our investment while ensuring that the risk of the investment is something we can tolerate if it does materialize. In other words, since we are currently risking the leftovers in our pocket, we want to ensure that it brings in more leftovers in the future. However, since not all investments work out and nothing is guaranteed, we want to ensure that the risk of taking money out of the leftovers in our pocket is not all the money we have, so that if the investment does fail, we don't lose everything. To recap, first you have to have leftovers in your pocket. Having money left in your pocket after every week, every month, and every year is the most important step to becoming richer and wealthier over time. If you do not have leftovers in your pocket, nothing else matters. This is the first and most important step. Second, we want to risk for separation. Using leftovers in our pocket, we want to generate more income, and to do that, we want to start a business. At first, it's going to lower the leftovers in our pocket, but once the business starts generating income, it will replace the leftovers and then some. Lastly, we want to grow the seeds. We want to invest our business income so our money starts working for us. At this point, we have a choice to invest in stocks, bonds, crypto, and real estate, or we can reinvest into our own business. The whole point of growing the seeds is that making money is great, but it is even better to have our money work for us and make us more money. This is it. This is the whole formula to getting rich and building wealth. It is simple, not easy, and it requires a lot of consistency. Getting rich and wealthy is more about behaviors than it is knowledge. If you want to learn more, I will leave some YouTube resources for you that I found helpful. These guys are experts in their specific field and provide great insight on the steps that you might be on. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. The Ramsey Show and The Money Guy Show. The Ramsey Show and The Money Guy Show are two YouTube channels you can check out if you're serious about wanting to save more of your income and want to be wealthier over time. The resources they designed are the baby steps and the financial order of operations. The baby steps are 7 steps that show you how to save for emergencies, pay off debt, and build wealth. The financial order of operations are 9 steps to maximize every dollar you earn and not let your money disappear the second it goes into your pocket. Both these resources are great tools to guide you to a successful financial life. Alex Hormozi. There are lots of business wisdom from Alex Hormozi. He has lots of experience growing companies and he shares his strategies online. If you're starting out and trying to build a business, there are lots of good points and ideas he talks about that will help you find your first customers and grow your business. Value Investing with Sven Carlin. The only finance YouTuber I really listen to. He specializes in value investing, which focuses on risk over return, meaning he wants to make sure he doesn't lose money first and then he focuses on how much money he makes.